Hi Flosstube, it's Lynn, the Canadian Stitcher. I'm back finally with an updated video of my progress on my cross stitch. So welcome back to all of my subscribers, and if this is your first video, then welcome to my channel. I hope everybody had a good holiday season, and I know I did. I've been on vacation and am now back and feel like my batteries are recharged and I'm ready to get some things done and more positive energy. So good. I did a subscriber giveaway on my last video, but I haven't mailed out the prizes yet because it was right at Christmas time as I was getting things ready to go, and with the high volume of mail at Christmas time, I just thought there's a greater chance of them getting lost. Plus, 2 of them are going to foreign countries, like not in the United States or Canada, where it's easier for me to understand how the addresses are written to be able to tell the person at the post office and fill out the labels properly. So I just thought there would be a greater chance of them getting lost. So I haven't mailed them yet, but I will contact, there was the 3 giveaways, and I will contact the winners once the packages are mailed out, because I will do them with tracking in case they get lost. So yeah, that's on my list of things to do today. So I have been working, for the last while, I've been working with a rotation of some of my favorite pieces. Last year I started off doing a week on this one, a week on that one, a week on this one, a week on that one, a week, and it was too much for me. I wasn't seeing very much progress. I mean, in that week I would see progress, but then I might not come back to that particular project again for, you know, 4 months or something like that, and that wasn't very satisfying for me. I like to make lots of progress on something. I like to have finishes. With these big HAEDs, I mean, these are multi-year projects, but I like to be able to see progress on them and then have some finishes in between. So I've kind of shrunk my rotation down to kind of it was a 4-week rotation, and then switch back to the beginning again, and now I think it's going to end up being like a 5-week and then switch back again, with the goal of finishing up some of these, a couple of these big ones that I've got still on my board here. So one that I have been working on was the Mirabilia Siren and the Shipwreck. For the life of me, I cannot find my original picture that came with my pattern for her. I don't know where it is. This is my photocopy, and my printer was running out of ink, so it doesn't show it very well, but that one I had taken to work, and I was working on her skin and her hair on my lunch breaks. So there she is. Ooh. It's all crumpled up because she was in a Q-snap. But that's, the tail piece is completely finished. I've got all of her skin done, not the details added to her face yet, so she doesn't have that. It's really fine features. And I've been working on her hair. And I was doing that one, like I said, on my lunch break at work, but not making a whole lot of progress and not feeling like I'm getting a really satisfied amount of stitching, done on her. So she's going to come into my rotation now and is going to be on a weekly, with the goal of getting her finished and then going into the pile of projects that need the beads. I'm going to put her over here, the beads that need to be added, and then I'll have a whole bunch of finishes all at the same time. The next one I worked on, I actually worked on this one for 2 weeks, but I didn't make a whole lot of progress. There was other things going on, so didn't get full solid 2 weeks. This is Lynx cat from Pick to Pat. And, oh, I'm sorry, one thing I want to try and get better at is telling you what fabric I'm using. So the Siren and Shipwreck I'm doing on 16 count sea linen Ada that I got from 123 Stitch. This one, the Lynx cat, so let's see. So this is the background here, the woodland background. This is the lynx here. And this part, let me do this. This part here is all the snow. So I was working on the snow, and I thought I would get a page finish, but as you can see, I'm not even close. It's very, very tedious in here. There's a lot of color switching. Even in the snow, you would think that snow would just be white, but it's not. There's lots of grays, there's blues, there's even some mauves in there. So this one is a total of 16 pages. Nope, that's not true. This one is 24 pages, and I'm working on page 3 of 24 right now. This one is done on 18 count pearl gray Ada. So this is going to be in the weekly rotation. Another one I worked on. So what I do is I have my Heaven and Earth Designs Discovery. That's my favorite cross-stitch project that I'm working on and my favorite HAED. So she's staying in my regular rotation and will be rotated through on that 5-week rotation. And then included in that 5-week rotation is picking one other HAED that I'm working on and working on it for 1 week. And then the next time I come around in the rotation, I pick another one. So they'll all get a little bit of work done on them over the year, but they're not going to be my primary focus ones until the Discovery's done, and then whichever other one I'm closest to finishing, that'll become the primary one. So I did work on Blue Dragon. It's Heaven and Earth Designs artwork by Elena Lazareva. That's her there. There's Glare. This one I'm working on a 16 count white Ada with a 4-inch border. I did this one just because it fit easier on the Q-snap. As when I had first started on her, I had worked on these rocks over here. And now this part is coming into kind of sort of like a mossy, there's the rocks and there's kind of this mossy overgrowth. So I'm right in there. So not a whole lot of progress for a week's worth on her. Well, I guess that's quite a bit. It's just not showing, nothing is showing up yet that you can really see exactly what it is. That's always exciting for me when I can look at it and say, oh, that's that part of that rock, or that's her hand, or whatever. Yeah. So I did work on that one for 1 week. I also worked on, I think it was over, I think it was over a week that I worked on Long Dog Sampler's Death by Cross Stitch. This would be my second favorite project. I really, really, really enjoy stitching on this one. It is so interesting. All the little, I was with family over Christmas and looking at the pattern a bit closer because I hadn't really looked at it in any detail. I know I start in the corner and I'm just going to keep working across, but we started looking at some of the little details in here, the squirrel and the crown, and I can't see, there's another little bird there. Yeah, a bee it looks like. So yeah, we kind of looked at this in closer formation, but that was interesting. So I got a whole page plus more done on this one, but I did have a lot of stitching time. So I started in the bottom left corner as always. Let me get this. I'm gonna cover up my face for just a sec. Show you this. There you go. So that's page, working from the bottom left corner, pages 1 and 2, and then going into the third one. Yeah. So this one's going to be in the weekly rotation also. And I'm hoping that I can finish it this year. So there is a place to put the date in this one. On the pattern they have 2016. I'm going to leave this little section unstitched because if I stitch in 2020, then it's for sure has to be finished in the year 2020. I think so anyway. So I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave out that little corner piece, and it's either going to be a 20 or a 21, but I'm not sure if I'll finish it this year or not. So I'm doing it once every 5 weeks, I think. All right. Now my favorite one, my HAED Discovery. She's so pretty. Let me pull it out so I don't get glare. And I'm going to review the stitch map again. Oopsie. Hold please. Okay, so Heaven and Earth Designs Discovery. can do the name this time. Its artwork is by Jenna Dalla Grottalegia Maldonado. I'm getting better. So I started in the bottom corner, coming across the bottom. When I last showed it, I was right down in this corner here. And I did make good progress on her. I'm not going to take it off the Q-snap because I'm still working on this one today. And I am on the last bit of the bottom row. So when I complete this page, so this is the page, I believe it's here, and then this is just a partial page. When I complete this, this will be the end of the bottom row, and then I'll be switching back over to this other side and starting up on the next page to build up her, that's her pocket there, so I'll be building up her vest and then bringing in her arm here. I'll show it better next video when it's off of the Q-snap. It's set right for what I'm working on today. So, and then because I have cats, so I sometimes get cat hair in my cross stitch, I'm keeping a pair of tweezers. I made these little needle minders, and the tweezers hold on really good if I snap it onto both of those. So that works. So this is the other pillar here. This is the one of the base of the pillar, and this is the other pillar coming up here. So we'll see how much more I can get done today, and then I'm going to be putting her away for the week. So I just wanted to review with you because I was looking at my stitch map. So when I do a HAED, it doesn't matter whether you start, you could start in the middle if you wanted to. I've seen people starting in the upper left, the bottom left, the upper right, bottom right. It doesn't matter where you start. You can do whatever you feel most comfortable with. I like starting on the bottom left and working across from left to right. I just find my stitches are neater if I'm doing a row of stitches, if I can stitch across. And I stitch cross country, and I don't grid. I just count across stitch. So what I do is before I start, I lay out the entire pattern on the floor. Takes up a lot of space sometimes, and I make myself a stitch map. Excuse me, of how the pages are laid out. So this one starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then page 8 starts the next row over here, and then across. So then this one ended up being, it's 49 pages long. These ones across here were partial pages, and these ones here are all partial pages. And then as I complete them, I highlight them out. And this way, when I go back up now to start, when I finish over here, these two little pages, when I finish page 49, I'll be coming back over here. So I'm going to know that I need to start with page 29 and 30 to be lined up correctly. So I find this really helpful. I don't know if anybody else uses this or has thought of this, but I find this really helpful. I'm always checking and double checking to make sure I'm in the right spot with the right page, and yeah, that would be a disaster if you started off stitching the wrong page above another page and then had to, you know, rip that out or scrap the project. I don't know. So my board is very cluttered, but I want to show you it because, yeah, it's really steampunked. Yikesies. So it's a magnetic board. It's just a whiteboard, like a magnetic whiteboard. I don't know what size it is even. I buy them at the office supply store, Staples. So on them I keep these little, these are refrigerator magnet clips, but they are perfect for clamping the current floss that I'm using there, and then the one that I've pulled off of, I have an extra one on there. This is my, whoopsie, this is my, I call it a needle bar, and I have a multitude of needles on there. One of my family members said, "What are all those needles for?" And I said, well, for one thing, I'm a bit of a needle hoarder. And for another thing, there's different needles for different things. So I have the Snag Nabbit, which is a wonderful tool if you don't have one already. See if you can find one. It has a pointed end on one side and a burr, like a drill burr on the other end. So if you have a snag that comes up through, you just take the pointed end and push it through the hole or where the stitch is, and it pulls the snag or the little bit that's lifted up right through there. I do have a couple of sharps on here. I call them sharps because they have sharp points. It's kind of nurse speak. On here for if I'm doing any projects that have fractional stitches, so that I can go into the center of the, because I stitch primarily on Aida fabric, not linen, you have to poke through the Aida fabric, and it's really hard to do with a blunt needle. Then I have several different sizes of the tapestry needles, or what I call blunts, or blunt needles, blunt ends. And then I have two different sizes of petites, that are the teeny tiny short ones that I use if I just have that little bit of thread left and I don't want to end it off. Then I can switch over to a petite and end off that thread without having to start a new one. Of course, I have my winter lip balm with a magnet attached to it. I use Thread Magic, and this one I have labeled as dark because I'm stitching with dark colors right now. I have one that is labeled white and ecru, and I only use for white and ecru, and I have a light one, I have a medium one, and I have a dark one. And then I only use those ones so that when I'm running a lighter colored thread through, I'm not running it through the Thread Magic that's stained. On my scissor fob thing, I have an agate and a little coin. That's a needle threader that I use. I only usually end up having to use a needle threader when I'm doing with the petite needles, just because of my nails. I find it hard to get it threaded on there. And I have a skeleton key just for fun, and a little Chinese coin for good luck. And I also have a needle pusher. You can buy these from 123 Stitch. I think they're actually called needle pushers. I think I might have talked about these before. These are little needle nose clamps. And depending on what field you're in, they're called different names. So as a cross stitcher, this is called a needle pusher. So if I'm going through a piece of putting my needle to end the thread through the back, where it's kind of tight or a little bit more difficult to get it through sometimes with my nails, again, I can't always get that needle through there, so you just push it through a little bit and then grab it with this needle pusher and pull it through and then snip it off. So I have a matching steampunk fob on there. As a nurse, we called these Kelly clamps. This type would actually be called a mosquito because it's a tiny one. If you would go to, I believe I was in a Walmart in the fishing section. These were called fish hook removers. And when I was making jewelry from a jewelry supplier, they called them jeweler's clamps. So it's the same thing. It's a really snug little clamp if you do need to clamp onto a wire or something like that. But I use these little ones, just to help push that needle through the back. So works better than tweezers too, because it's got a firmer grip. Like, you can get a really good grip with these because you can actually lock them. Yeah. So and then of course I've got my highlighter, and then a couple other just little fancy things because they're pretty. Oh, and my little owl is holding my needle right now. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is that I have all these plans, and I greatly underestimate the amount of time it's going to take me to do something. So I'll say, oh, I'm going to do this week and this week, and I don't even complete part of a project that I say that I'm going to get done. So I'm going to hopefully stop talking about my plans so much and then just show you what progress I've made. Because I feel like if I say that I'm going to do this and this, I need to do it, and then it puts pressure on me, and I don't want that pressure. I just want to enjoy my stitching and stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch it. If I don't feel like stitching on it, I don't want to feel like I have to, just because I said out loud that I would. So I'm not going to be talking about my plans so much, as I will be showing the progress that I made in my videos. That being said, I am going to take, I do like to have a project at work to work on my lunch breaks, because I like to get my mind off my work for a little while and de-stress a little bit, and then come back after my break feeling kind of refreshed and ready to get back to work and take it on. So I was working on last year Dream, Hope, Believe, Imagine, this 4 set from Joan Elliott Designs. on my Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name is Canadian the Stitcher, and I completed Dream, but I haven't put the beads in yet, and I completed Hope without the beads yet. So now I just have to finish Believe and Imagine. So I think I'm going to take these ones to work on my lunch breaks, because they're actually, the lettering is fairly quick, and then there's just little bits of detail in this one. It looks like there's little fairies in the Believe, and there's a unicorn in the Imagine, and then there's some detailing stitching in the background, and then the beads. So when I get all 4 done, then I can do the beading on them, and then I'm not sure whether I'm going to frame these ones myself or take them to the framers. They turned out kind of cool colored, like not such a warm color. They show them here with gold frames, but I'm thinking they might look better with more of a silver toned frame, maybe. I'll see when I have them all done and the beading completed on them. So that's going to go with me as a work project or a lunch break project. I think that's all I have to say. So thank you. It's not all I want to say. I want to say thank you for everybody who reached out to me, messaged me, and asked me if I was okay, or they said that we miss you and when are you coming back? And it wasn't anything big. I was busy with some cross stitch that I was working on and kind of really enjoying my focus intent on it. And then with being off work for 16 days, to me it was like I'm on vacation and I was away for a while, and then you know what it's like when you come back home. I'm a homebody. I like my home. I like being home. I like my routine in my day. And when you're away from home and then you come back, sometimes it's nice to just get back into your own routine and doing your laundry and putting it away instead of being in a suitcase and that kind of thing. So I just like being home, and I just wanted a bit of time for myself. So there wasn't anything wrong. There wasn't I wasn't avoiding anybody, or I certainly was thinking about my YouTube subscribers and wishing you all well, but I just needed some time for myself, and I felt really good. I feel really good that I took that time, and now hopefully I can get back into more of a regular making videos routine again. It depends a little bit on the weather. Today is sunny. The last couple of days have been sunny. I definitely have a seasonal affective disorder. I was diagnosed with that actually decades ago with the winter. Lack of light in the winter. Seasonal affective disorder is sadness, or they call it SAD is the acronym for it. And it really is with the change in the light in the northern hemisphere, and I'm sure people in southern hemisphere experience the same thing when it's winter for them. My mood I just don't have energy, and I sleep more, which is not a bad thing because I do like to sleep, but I just don't have as much energy or as much enthusiasm, and I don't want that to be presented as a part of my channel. I want to be positive and upbeat and feel like I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And so if I'm experiencing the seasonal affective in the wintertime, there might be spaces where there's not going to be videos as regularly. Like I said, it depends on the light conditions and the sunshine. And this year, some years, I don't feel it at all. Like I have absolutely no symptoms whatsoever. I'm fine. Everything goes along as normal. And if I'm going to get it, I can usually start to feel it by the end of November, and then going into December. As each day gets shorter and shorter and shorter, my mood goes lower and lower, and so does my energy level. So I was experiencing that, still am this year, but today, it's sunny, and I was yesterday already planning on making a video. So that does impact also. People have given me suggestions on how to help that. I get all that. I know. I take extra vitamin D. I do light therapy. I do actual sunshine therapy. If the sun is shining, I will sit in the actual sunshine for, if I can, 20 minutes or half an hour. I have what's called a SAD light, or SAD light, on my desk at work, and I also have a bigger one that I use at home. And I do take extra vitamin D and try to be active and just keep plugging through. But there are some days that it's just the energy level is just not there, and my mood lifts as the days get longer, which we're already experiencing. But it takes until about February before you notice a really big change of the light. The days being longer. So yeah, so just let you know that little bit about me, that it's nothing major. There's nothing major wrong. It's just that's kind of what I experience in the winter time. Future plans, told you I didn't want to talk about my plans all that much, but it's a consideration that I'm thinking of, is actually becoming one of those Canadian snowbirds, as they're called, Canadian snowbirds, that actually leave Canada in the winter months and go down to southern United States or Hawaii, or someplace else to live during the coldest and the darkest of the winter months. So that is something that I am thinking about doing, but I'm not ready for retirement quite yet. So that's another little insight into what's going to be happening with me, hopefully in the next 5 years or so. Anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you all are having a really good day, and take care. We'll see you. Bye.